Today, I'm taking you to the heart of the Atarazanas Market in Málaga. We're taking on 3 real rounds to learn the words and phrases locals actually use. First, juice.
¿Me puedes dar, por favor?
Then, fruit.
Aquí vendes manzanas.
And finally, a famous Spanish lunch. Can you guess what it is? And along the way, we'll go over some of the key Spanish used throughout my experience in the market.
In Spain, the word for juice is outside of Spain. In countries like Mexico or Colombia, they would say.
And at the end, we'll even order a beer.
Now, I'm very peckish, so my aim is to try as much as I possibly can and learn Spanish along the way. After all, this is Immersive Spanish. Atarazanas. That doesn't sound very Spanish, right? And that's because the name Atarazanas comes from the Arabic word al-tarazana, meaning shipyard. And the reason for this is because in the 14th century, the current market was actually a shipyard used by the Moors. And here it is. There we go, we can see it. It's beautiful. Can you see that Moorish horseshoe arch at the entrance? Well, that is an enduring influence of the Moorish time here in Malaga. And in the 1870s, it was transformed into Malaga's central market. And as you can see, today it forms Malaga's beating heart of local food culture. Just passing underneath this very emblematic archway. Whoa, the first thing that hits you is the smell of fish. It's very potent, but that's how you know it's fresh. And as you can hear, it's a bustling environment in here. Very busy. A little bit overwhelming for the senses, to be honest. Wow. Aquí hay un poco de todo. De todo un poco. So, I want to get some juice. In Spain, the word for juice is zumo. Outside of Spain, in countries like Mexico or Colombia, they would say jugo. Perhaps that's easier to remember than zumo. Whatever you fancy. If you say jugo, you'll be understood here. Ah, there it is. Estoy haciendo en este momento cola. Estoy haciendo cola. I'm waiting in line. So bear with me, please.
Let's go over some of the key Spanish you'll hear in this episode. I'm going to say each phrase twice, with short pauses in between. During each pause, repeat what you hear. First, let's practice how to order and ask for things. How would you say, "Can you give me an orange juice, please?" ¿Me puede dar un jugo de naranja, por favor? ¿Me puede dar un jugo de naranja, por favor? How would you say, without ice? Sin hielo. Sin hielo. How would you say, I'll pay by card? Pago con tarjeta. Pago con tarjeta.
Hola, buenas. ¿Me puedes dar, por favor, zumo de naranja?
¿Solo naranja?
Solo naranja.
¿Pongo hielo?
Sin hielo, por favor. Bueno, muchas gracias. Pago con tarjeta, por favor. Muy bien. ¿Ha salido bien? Gracias. Chao, chao. So let's go outside where it's a bit quieter to try this fresh orange juice without ice, huh? Looks fresh. Smells fresh. Taste test. Oh, Now let me tell you, I've purchased a lot of orange juice in my time, all over the place. In England, Florida, even Spain. And this is some of the freshest orange juice you will find. And it's just what you need on a hot, sunny day like this. So remember, this is called, in Spanish, zumo de naranja. Or if you're outside of Spain, in any of the other 21 Spanish-speaking countries, you would say jugo de naranja. It's lovely. And if you want your juice without ice, you would say sin hielo. Sin hielo. Just think about how your orange juice is almost yellow. Sin hielo.
Now, let's practice expressing preferences. How would you say, I don't care, or it doesn't matter to me? Me da igual. Me da igual. If somebody asks you if you want to pay by cash or with card, you could simply respond, me da igual. Alternatively, you can say, no me importa. No me importa. Think about how importa sounds sort of like important. So it's kind of like saying it's not important to me. When choosing something, how would you say, that seems good to me? Me parece bien. Me parece bien. Esta manzana, la de aquí, me parece bien. If you want something sweet, how would you ask for a sweet apple? Una manzana dulce. Una manzana dulce.
Wow, that was refreshing. Now I'm loaded up with a bit more sugar. I think I'm ready to go back in and tackle the crowds, huh? Let's go, see what else we can find. Since I arrived here in Spain, I've been enjoying a lot of the local food. But one thing I haven't had much of is fruit. So I think I'll get myself some fresh produce. I'm thinking something like apples. The word for apple in Spanish is manzana. Manzana. So let's see. Caballero, ¿cómo está? ¿Aquí vendes manzanas?
Sí,
¿Sí?
tenemos manzanas, tenemos pin lady.
Ah, excelente. ¿De dónde vienen las manzanas? ¿Son locales?
No,
Bueno, no importa. No,
el 95% de las manzanas que se venden aquí vienen de la zona de los Alpes.
ok.
Italia,
Ah, bueno.
Francia,
Eso no me importa.
Austria.
Me da igual. Pues, ¿me podría dar, por favor, 2 manzanas? ¿Sí?
¿De qué tipo las quiere? La tengo en dulce, tengo golden,
O Pink Lady.
verde doncella y pin lady.
Pink Lady me parece bien. Pago con tarjeta, por favor.
¿Qué pasa?
Nice. Pink Lady apples. I asked if they're local. They're not, but they're fresh. That's what matters. Gracias, caballero.
¿Quieres copia?
No hace falta, no es necesario. Bueno, gracias. Que tengas un buen día.
Gracias, igualmente.
Nice. 2 big Pink Lady apples. As I said, they're not local products, unlike much of the fish you see here, but they're organic and they look very nice. I'm gonna go outside and try them. It's a bit too hectic in here. Cebollas, de todo un poco más o menos. So, time for a taste test. Look at the size of it. Pink Lady. I'll tell you what, that's not bad. If I were to describe this apple, I would say, diría que es una manzana dulce. It's a sweet apple. Una manzana dulce. Bueno, estudiantes, después de haber comido la manzana, todavía tengo hambre. After having eaten that apple, I'm still hungry, so I think I'll check out what else they have. And look at these horseshoe-shaped archways on the exterior of the market. You can see just how much influence the Moors had here in Malaga. And much of the architecture that you see throughout the city is a very beautiful mixture between Christian and Islamic design. But the legacy of the Moors very much lives on here in the south of Spain. It's so beautiful. I mean, look at that. Here you can see the cathedral, you can see the boats which would have been stored here, and you can see the ancient Moorish ruins above. Stunning. Let's go, round 3. Oh, aquí tenemos aceitunas, olives, aceitunas.
How would you say, there's a bit of everything here? Aquí hay un poco de todo. Aquí hay un poco de todo. Now, when something tastes amazing, how would you say, how delicious? Qué rico. Qué rico. O qué delicioso. And if it's really good, qué riquísimo. Qué riquísimo. How would you say, I'm still hungry? Todavía tengo hambre. Todavía tengo hambre. Now, what's the word for a Spanish-style sandwich? Un bocadillo. Un bocadillo. How would you order? I'd like a serrano ham sandwich. Quisiera un bocadillo de jamón serrano. Quisiera un bocadillo de jamón serrano. Quisiera un bocadillo de jamón serrano.
So I think I'm going to ask for a sandwich. And in case you don't know, a sandwich in Spain, at least, is un bocadillo. Un bocadillo. Oh, it's super busy, huh? Super busy. What a nice bustling atmosphere. Un ambiente muy bullicioso. Un ambiente bullicioso. A bustling atmosphere. It's what you think of when you come to a market here in Spain. I'd be worried if it was very quiet. There we go, we have some bocadillos. Este es un bocadillo de jamón serrano. Y me lo voy a llevar. Me lo voy a llevar. Hola, buenas.
Hola, buenas.
Por favor, quisiera un bocadillo de jamón. Calentado, no hace falta.
No, así está muy bueno.
¿Sí?
Está muy bien.
Entonces vamos. Gracias, pago con tarjeta. Gracias.
Gracias a ti.
Bueno,
Muy bien, gracias.
todo bien. Nice. Bocadillo de jamón y queso. A ham and cheese sandwich. Oh, perdón. Vamos a salir por la parte trasera. Wow, just look at this. Beautiful mosaic. You can see la catedral. You can see the boats. Okay, guys, you know what time it is. Taste test. Vamos a probar este bocadillo de jamón y queso. We're going to try this ham and cheese sandwich. So good. You think it's dry, but I think they put a little bit of extra virgin olive oil there. Sorry, it's rude to talk with your mouth open, I know. Bueno, es un bocadillo de altísima calidad. It's a bocadillo, a sandwich of very high quality. De altísima calidad. And I'm going to teach you something. When you like what you're eating, when it tastes good, you can say, "Qué delicioso." But more commonly, you'll hear people say, "Qué rico." Qué rico. Which literally means like, how rich in flavor it is. How lovely, how tasty. Qué rico. Y este bocadillo, sí, está delicioso, está riquísimo. Well, there we go. Just finished my bocadillo. And do you know what I think would really embellish everything I've just had? A nice bit of cerveza. Now, I don't know if you're watching from England, but in Spain, they don't just serve beer as a pint. They do serve them in pint portions, and that would be called una jarra or una pinta. However, they also more commonly serve them as cañas. And a caña translates to around 200 milliliters of beer, roughly. And that's perfect for what I need right now. Let's find some beer. So remember, if you want a large quantity of beer, you would order una pinta or una jarra. If you want something a bit smaller, like around 200 milliliters, around half a pint, you would order una caña. Okay? Let me know if you spot it. I don't see any taps. Yeah, it's busy. I've knocked into a few people here. Oh, look at this. Ay, perdón.
Hola.
Hola, buenas. ¿Me puede poner, por favor, una caña? So there we go. Here's mi caña. It's just what I needed, ¿no? Una pregunta. ¿Cuál es la forma correcta de pedir una caña? ¿Me pones?
Caña, por favor.
Quisiera. Quiero. Me parece muy directo.
Caña, por favor.
Bueno, una.
En España somos directos.
Sí, se nota. Así debe ser. Bueno, voy a probar esta deliciosa cerveza. Oh. As I told you at the beginning of this video, before this building turned into a market, it was a shipyard. And this vaulted ceiling you can see was used to protect the ships that would eventually make their way to the Mediterranean.
Bueno, amigos, we've covered a lot of useful Spanish at the Atarazanas Market today. Let's go over the most important phrases so you can use them next time you're shopping in Spain. I'll say each phrase, then give you time to repeat. Listo? Let's go. What's the word for olives? It's not olivas or olivos, but aceitunas. Aceitunas. How would you say a lively atmosphere or a bustling atmosphere? Un ambiente bullicioso. Un ambiente bullicioso. Finally, let's practice being polite. How would you wish someone have a good day? Que tengas un buen día. That you have a nice day. Que tengas un buen día. Why do we say que tengas un buen día with that first que? Because the full phrase is espero que tengas un buen día. I hope that you have a good day. But in Spanish, we often drop espero but keep the que. That que triggers the subjunctive. It turns a statement into a wish. Without it, you're just stating a fact instead of expressing hope for someone. And remember, in a bar in Spain, if you want a small beer, you can say, me pone una caña. Me pone una caña. And, although Spaniards are quite direct, if you want to be even more polite, you could say or ask, ¿Me puede poner una caña? ¿Me puede poner una caña? So you have two options, the more direct and perfectly acceptable being, ¿Me pone una caña? And the second option, which I often opt for, is ¿Me puede poner una caña? Now, how would you say to wait in line? Hacer cola. Hacer cola. Muy bien. You've just reviewed all the essential Spanish from today's market visit. Try using these phrases next time you're shopping or ordering food in Spain. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. If you want to practice these again, just rewind and go through the review section one more time.
Bueno, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this caña in peace, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.